She's a fine filly.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Welcome to SinCast, presented by CinemaSins.
All right, everybody, welcome to the SinCast. This is Chris Atkinson from CinemaSins, joined as always by the voice of CinemaSins, Jeremy Scott.
Yowza.
And from Music Video Sins, Barrett Scher.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
You want to talk about Sin Week for a little bit?
Yeah.
Ooh, Sin Week is filling up.
Yeah, exactly. Our thing that you can do by being a member of Patreon.
Yeah.
What is Sin Week?
Sin Week is both a digital convention for Sin fans and an in-person get-together for Sin fans here in Nashville, Tennessee. The bulk of our Sin fans will get extra Sins videos, some live broadcasts. All of our Patreon members get access to this stuff. We'll be doing some panels like you would see at a Comic-Con. We're going to tape a podcast like this live with an audience. You'll get to watch us do that. You get to see us say all the shit that we would normally get to cut out later.
Which we've already cut out.
Which we've already cut out 15 minutes this morning.
Yep.
And then, for the select few, up to 25 Sinflowers on our Patreon page, the members at that level. If you are at that level by February 1st, you are eligible to come to Sin Week here in Nashville. Got to get yourself here. Got to get yourself a couch to crash on. Lots of options.
But then
we're going to see a movie with you. We're probably going to go do some driving range fun with you. We're going to have some food with you.
That's right.
And it's going to be a 3-day thing, where you'll get to, it's going to be intimate, not in a sexual way. Well, it may be.
Yeah.
It's going to be intimate in that there's only max 25 of you. So far, we have 6 people signed up at this tier.
Yep.
And we're going to rent out a theater. So we're just going to have all kinds of fun. And what we hope to do is create a really memorable experience, because as I get older, I find that experiences are what I value more than stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Memories, the fine meals we have together to celebrate milestones, the trips we've taken together, the experiences. And I want to give people something that they can cherish. And if you like us enough to want to be around our ugly mugs, we're going to give you the option.
And even if you can't make it here, you can log on to digitally. It's going to be, what did you call it, like an e-convention?
An e-convention, yes. The normal plebes out there who aren't Patreon members
right.
will get 2 Sins videos on the main channel.
Yep.
But the Patreon members that week, they're going to get 3 additional. They'll
That's
get a Sins
5
video
videos.
every fucking day.
That's insane.
And I think that alone is probably worth, the $3 it would cost you to come on as a Patreon member for that month. If you want to only come on as a Patreon member for a month and then disappear, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take money. I'm trying to create something that is a little extra for those fans that want something. And that's what the Patreon's about. Patreon.com/CinemaSins.
That's it,
Yeah.
baby. And we also have a new podcast coming out the day after this one.
We have a lot of things to pimp, don't
That's
we?
right. We do. We are pimping.
Movies Going on 30 will have its first episode on January 15th.
Nice.
We are coming out. It's me and Jonathan Watkins, and we are going to be talking about the movies that came out on that corresponding week of 1989. Obviously, the first couple of episodes are going to be movies you may have never heard of before.
I had never heard of them, but I listened to this episode, and it's awesome. Like, it's edifying. It's interesting. You guys do a deep dive into these things, man. And it's a really cool concept. It's only going to get better as it goes along. Even
I
though
think
it's really
so.
good.
I think so. Like, the first couple episodes are always going to have that. What is this? What are we doing? How are we going to do it? Type of things. And then finally we'll settle into, talking the right way about it.
I've seen some really good feedback, too. I think listeners are kind of excited about this one. I saw one guy even say, I just turned 30, so this sounds like the perfect podcast for me.
Yeah.
Perfect. And yeah, I'm excited about it. And it's just, there's more of this kind of thing to come. We're not going to give it to you all at once, but we are planning some more podcasts down the road. And hopefully you will enjoy going on this journey with Chris and Jonathan.
Okay, so Movies Going on 30 new podcast is coming out January 15th.
Which will be tomorrow as you're listening to this.
Yes.
And Valentine's Day is February 14th.
That's
Got
right.
it. Got it.
That's right.
Jesus, I'm glad you reminded
Let's
me.
run down all the important dates. 2019.
4th of July is
February
on.
12th, I'll see Hamilton for a 3rd time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. As a Valentine's Day gift, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we're also going to go back on our road trip today.
Road trip. Oh, yeah.
On the road again.
The most time-honored tradition of all, the road trip.
Oh, the places you'll go.
Are we there yet?
No.
Are we there yet?
No.
Are we there yet?
No.
And we're going to be going to South Carolina.
Listen to me. I love me some South Carolina.
Never been.
I have been to Columbia. I have been to Charleston. I have been to. I've been through South Carolina. I did not think, because you think of South Carolina as kind of swampy and humid and just kind of stuff like that. But I stayed in Columbia actually the week of the Masters, and Augusta is like right, like a hop, skip, and a jump away from it. And it was crowded, but it was charming. It's like a college town. Charleston is right on the coast, and it's fucking beautiful. It's just one of the iconic. They've got the rainbow row of all the brightly colored houses and stuff like that. They've got Fort Sumter that was there, that factors into some of the movies we'll talk about. But if you have an opportunity to go to like the major cities in South Carolina, it's awesome.
It's like North Carolina's shoe.
Yeah, it kind of is like that.
Is Myrtle Beach South Carolina?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I've been to Myrtle Beach when I was about 15. I was a golfer in high school. I was playing a lot of golf, and my dad's always been a terrible golfer, as has my uncles and grandfather. So I think one of my uncles and maybe two of my uncles, my granddad, my father, my brother, and I all went to Myrtle Beach and played golf at like 3 different courses over a weekend. Great trip.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I played some lousy golf, though. Yeah. But the golf courses are great, and I've been to Columbia, spent a weekend there 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that, huh?
It's like, remember when Kramer has that talk show set, the Merv Griffin set? He makes that joke. He's like, El Paso, I spent a month there one night. So yeah, South Carolina. What kind of movies do they make up in South Carolina?
By the way, only place in the Southeast I haven't been. South
That's
Carolina.
odd that you haven't like grazed it.
Yeah.
Grazed it.
Closest I've ever been is Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah. Savannah's pretty. Charleston and Savannah have a very similar dynamic.
But I want to go to South Carolina because I saw a food show a year or two ago of some like out of nowhere barbecue place that's like got 2-hour lines or whatever. I don't want to stand in the line, but
No.
But they showed the barbecue that they were cooking, and the barbecue looked like spaghetti almost. That's how loose it was, and I can't wait,
Dude, you could pay somebody to stand in that line for you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Did you hear about Prince's?
Yeah, a car ran into it. Yeah,
it closed down indefinitely while they figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Don't drive cars into businesses people love.
Yeah.
Or really anywhere.
Yeah, that's probably. Just keep it on the road.
South Carolina, the first movie on our list is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Jesus Christ. Have you seen this?
Yes. I have. I was expecting a real, like, even if it wasn't good, I was expecting, like, funny.
Yep.
And this movie's not even trying to be funny.
It's such a shame because if you're, I mean, this is a Sharknado premise.
Yeah.
You need to lean into the goofy, and this movie didn't even try to do that.
No, and it's really, like, it's got bad production value in it.
It's like a Huey Ball film.
Yeah, it really is. And, the book for this came out during the time of the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but it's the same sort of like idea, taking something from history and just changing it up and whatever. And yeah, Abraham Lincoln is a vampire hunter. The funniest thing that ever came out of this was that there was a guy at the movie theater at Hollywood 27 that I know. He told me that there was this guy who came up and asked him what it was about. And he's like, what is Abraham? He goes, is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Is that historical? and he goes, the movie's called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He said, no, but I mean, does it have historical stuff in it? The movie's called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
That's all you need to say. He should have said yes.
Yeah, this movie is a total piece of shit.
Yeah. No record to that, Warren. Just stay the fuck away.
No, but it's got such a good cast, man. Dominic Cooper, Anthony Mackie, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Rufus Sewell. Like, there's Jimmy Simpson's in there.
But that was all, I think, before any of those people had reached peak status.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies has Lily James or one of those people.
Yeah, Lily James in it, yeah.
Yeah, this is shitty.
Yeah, not very good at all. Then we have Lawrence Kasdan's The Big Chill.
Yeah, almost a polar opposite. Although, what do we think of this movie in our generation?
It didn't connect with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a hard time connecting to this as well.
Yeah.
But I know people when it came out, it was like the jam. Like, it was like the Breakfast Club for the olds.
Yeah, the olds. It's isn't it all 30 somethings in this? That's basically the sort of the gist. They're all coming to they're meeting for a funeral,
Right.
And I think Kevin Costner is the guy.
He is the guy who committed suicide, but he's never shown in the film.
Right. And then you have just a long list of like some of the biggest A-list stars or who would become biggest A-list stars. You have people like William Hurt, you have Jeff Goldblum, you have God, it's like a million.
Your girl Glenn Close.
Yeah,
Kevin Kline. What I do remember about this movie, first of all, the soundtrack, which was parodied in High Fidelity.
Yeah.
Where they say something like one of the top 5 lists had "You Can't Always Get What You Want" on it, and the guy's like immediately disqualified for relation to The Big Chill.
Yeah,
and Jack Black's like, "Oh, you're right.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Yeah."
But what I think about this is the scene where Kevin Kline, who's married to Glenn Close, her friend asks him to impregnate her, and Glenn Close is okay with this.
Yeah,
right. And so they have this night where he does his thing, but it was parodied in a Saturday Night Live when Kevin Kline was hosting, I think.
Oh yeah,
and they have this like intense conversation. He's like, "No, I don't want to do it," and she's like, "I want you to do this." And like eventually, like he's like, "Okay, fine." And so she sits at like the kitchen table, and he goes upstairs, and then he comes back down with his shirt off, and he's like, "Whoo!" She's like, "Okay, you done?" He's like, "No, I'm just getting a Gatorade." And he like juices up, and he's like in a towel, and he goes right back up.
I don't remember too much about this movie. I do remember there's a scene where like I think several couples have gone off to have sex.
Yep.
And
everybody fucks everybody.
And Jeff Goldblum is down in some room with somebody else, and they're not having sex. And he's like, I hear it around the house. Everybody's in the throes of sexual, something like that. Like nobody has explicitly stated that they're going to have sex, but it's just one of those things where everybody's just kind of like gone, and he's like, I hear it, and there's something in the walls that tells me everybody's having sexual intercourse right now.
I feel like this is a movie. I saw it much later. I saw it like in the 2000s or something like that, and I saw it, and I enjoyed it. But I think, there's not like the personal. It's like the movie Diner, like people, which I think came out maybe the same year, 83.
Yeah, Diner was 82.
Okay, so right around there though. Like people of that generation connect with it the way I do, like High Fidelity or something like that, where it's a real personal connection. And I never got that. I think it's a good movie, but it's not like blockbuster status.
Yeah, this is something that maybe you had the same experience I did. We were all somewhat the same age or whatever, but you would seem to hear about this movie a lot back in the 80s. Like people would just bring this up a ton. I don't know why really. But that's how impactful it kind of was. Then we have the 1915 silent movie, The Birth of a Nation. Problematic movie these days. You still have critics who consider it one of the best films of all time because of all the techniques that were sort of invented in this movie.
Yeah.
But the fact remains, the Ku Klux Klan are the heroes of this film.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, it was really well contextualized in Black Klansman. Did you ever see Black Klansman?
It's a mustache. A stack of shame.
There's a part where the Klan is having a meeting led by David Duke, and it's like a knighting ceremony or whatever, like a welcoming ceremony. And they play Birth of a Nation, and it shows this raucous Ku Klux Klan meeting where they're just like, when the KKK comes in to save the day in the movie, they're just like, fist pumping. They're like, yeah, this is great. And I'm like, man, when you show that in that context, you just can't get, I don't care how innovative it is.
Yeah.
You just can't get past it to watch it, I think.
Yeah. And it originally was called The Klansman. That was what this movie was originally called. Yeah, it's tough. Like even with they there is a joke in that the Buster Keaton, the general, where because the South is the hero in that too. But there's a point where he's turned down for the Confederate Army, and he says, "Well, if you guys end up losing this war, don't blame me." Blah blah blah. So that's a little joke that they throw in there, but still, the South, you're sitting there like you're forced to root for the South in that movie, and it's really hard sometimes. This one though, I'm sure, I think there have been a lot of explanations over the years from D.W. Griffith and all that about why he made it the way he did, but ultimately you just have a racist group as the heroes in a movie.
I'd be interested in hearing what justifications. I mean, obviously this was so long ago, over 100 years ago. Do you know of any like justifications he had for it? Did he continue to make?
I'm looking for some
movies
right
like
now.
that.
In 1915, was it controversial?
Yes,
it was.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The NAACP, founded in 1909, protested at premieres of the film in numerous cities. By the time of the movie's March 3rd, 1915 premiere in New York City, its subject matter had embroiled the film in charges of racism, protests, and calls for censorship.
Wow.
This is way back then.
Good job, culture.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, right?
You also have white people in blackface in this movie, too. This is both Griffith and Dixon in letters to the press dismissed African-American protests against the birth of a nation, saying that the reason black men disliked the film was because they wanted to have sex with white women. In a letter to the New York Globe, Griffith wrote that his film was an influence against the intermarriage of blacks and whites. Dixon likewise called the NAACP the Negro Intermarriage Society and said it was against the birth of a nation for one reason only, because it opposes the marriage of blacks to whites. Griffith, indignant at the film's negative critical reception, wrote letters to newspapers and published a pamphlet in which he accused his critics of censoring unpopular opinions.
Jesus.
Griffith's 1916 pamphlet, The Rise and Fall of a Free Speech in America, used racialized language and images such as a cartoon that depicted censorship as a monstrous black man with a lascivious expression on his face eyeing free speech who appeared as a white woman dressed in a white dress.
God damn. So he doubled down on that shit.
He pretty much
tripled
did.
down.
It's like Gavin McGinnis.
There's obviously probably more to this. There's probably other books you can read about it. There's probably movies that are based on this. It's a problematic film because it's got influence in other ways and techniques and stuff like that. However, its content is so ridiculous. It's almost like you could make if you made a movie today that had any of this stuff in it and you came up with all these innovative things, nobody would like your movie.
No. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, that was a super racist movie, but man, that camera angle he came up with.
Yeah.
I love how, apparently, for a couple hundred years in the early part of this country, people were just publishing pamphlets. Because, in Hamilton, there's that whole Reynolds pamphlet.
Yeah.
And this guy got angry, so he decided to publish a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Pamphlets were blogs 100 years before the
they
internet,
were.
right?
Well, a lot of the language that you just read, you could read that shit on Twitter.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is stuff that's not...
The racism
out of
hasn't
vogue.
gone away.
Right.
I just think culture tolerates it less, and hopefully it's dwindled. But yeah, there's certainly plenty of that shit online.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder if there had been a Twitter back in 1915, though, how much backlash he would have gotten had he had published something like that. Like, you can publish a pamphlet and not really worry about the backlash because you're not going to get many letters or anything like that. Even if you did, it's not like immediate, instant, whatever. But it is kind of interesting. Yeah, you're right. Pamphlets were the Twitter feeds and blogs.
What does that even mean? Did he pay people to hand them out? How do you distribute a pamphlet? Do you go up to the top of a bell tower and just throw them off? He wrote letters. He said he wrote letters to the newspapers and published a pamphlet. So the pamphlet didn't get distributed with the newspapers. I just want to know how that works.
They did that thing in 10 Things I Hate About You, where they throw it down the stairwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I mean, technically, Ben Affleck's character in The Town published a pamphlet looking for his lost mom.
That's true.
Probably only 3 people saw it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
But he published a pamphlet.
It would be interesting to know what the distribution of pamphlets were back
Right?
then.
I mean, that's like today saying he was so angry he started a website. Okay.
Did they go into bookstores or something like that?
Yeah.
Like you have your normal books here, but up in the front, here's some pamphlets.
Here's some racist pamphlets,
screeds,
by the way. They've got this is the racist section. This is the non-racist section.
I think it's weird to me. I still see top 100 lists that put this movie in the top 100, and at some point you got to let go, guys. I know that classic movies have this this impenetrable sheen to them for some reason, like Citizen Kane and all these that always are number one. But at some point you just gotta say we're leaving this shit behind.
I agree.
And this is one of them. On to something way, way, way different. D.A.R.Y.L, D.A.R.Y.L,
Oh.
which has the kid from Neverending Story in it.
It does. I saw this movie. I don't remember it at all. I watched this a bunch when I was a kid.
I did
And
too.
it's gone.
It's funny. I did too, and I had to kind of read up to remind myself of it. And once I did, it immediately came back to me. It was like Small Wonder. It was
He's D.A.R.Y.L.
He's D.A.R.Y.L, which is like an acronym for I got it.
He's
right.
like a robot?
And isn't
Data Analyzing Robot Youth Life Form.
and isn't it see now I never watched this when I was a kid. Surprisingly, this movie never like hit my radar.
Really?
Like I remember seeing like
Youth life. They made a youth robot.
Well, it can't just be D.A.R.Y.L or D.A.R.Y.L.
right. Exactly. They're like we are really dedicated to this D.A.R.Y.L title. We need to have something.
They started with the acronym and everything else followed.
But this was not on my radar as a kid. I did not watch this a bunch of times. It came on 2 weeks ago out of nowhere.
Oh,
And I
wow.
started watching some of it. So he's with a family, like his real parents, quote unquote, are I guess the guy who made him or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he was made in the laboratory, and that guy. There's actually like stuff about the Turing test in this about like AI, even back in 1985. Of course, Turing was before that, but you get what I mean. And then he lets him go. He's like, well, you need to live a normal human life. And he goes to South Carolina somehow. Of
course.
And he ends up with Michael McKean and Hurt.
Mary Beth
Hurt. And
What was that adoption process like?
well, he just showed up, and they were like, well, I guess we should just take care of him.
Why
Yeah.
do people always do this in movies?
Yeah.
It's like a kid, I'm going to parent it. I'm not going to call anyone.
Or
I'm
like
not going to
Harry and the Hendersons.
check his pockets for a phone number. Or,
Yeah, I mean, them shits are like raccoons. Let's just stick them in. Let's put them in the. We'll tame it.
But he's like awesome at everything. Like they try to they start playing baseball, and like he's amazing at baseball, and they start playing pole position is a plot point in this. They start playing pole position, and he's like making superhuman like anticipations for the driving, which because he is superhuman. And at the end of it, he dies.
awesome.
Oh yes.
He fucking dies.
Wow.
And like it doesn't come back. Well, yeah, he does come back. Never mind. But he fucking dies.
Yeah.
He Iron Giant's back?
Yeah, he does.
Well,
Because he's
spoiler.
It's like in Solo where the L7 or
Oh, they put him into a
L3,
computer.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, they rehumanize
That was a
him.
funny thing, by the way, as an aside, when I was looking over you guys' script for Solo, was there's a point where it said L7 did this, and I was like, you mean the band with all the women in it? You made my shit list. They were in the movie. I don't
right.
remember that.
Naked Eye. That was a good
Yeah,
track.
yeah. But yeah, is D.A.R.Y.L good?
no.
I don't think so. I mean, it's like short circuit probably, where if I watched it again, it would be awful. But I just watched a bunch of
Did
them. as a kid.
AI sort of steal some stuff from this movie?
Maybe.
There's a lot in common with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no gigolo robot.
Right,
in this
right,
one, I don't
right.
think.
AI does the opposite of just grabbing random kids. Like she dropped one off in the fucking forest.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making our life complicated. I'm going to put you in the woods.
Right. And there'll be a weird cameo from Meryl Streep in the middle of the woods. And then we have Doc Hollywood.
That's South Carolina as
Yeah,
fuck.
South Carolina as fuck. This is Michael J. Fox, who is a doctor who wants to become a plastic surgeon, and on his way to California, or he's on his way to California, but how does he end up in South Carolina?
He breaks down. Or he hits something.
But you can't really be on your way to California and go to South Carolina, can you?
I don't
That's
know
true.
why he was going through
He
South
started
Carolina.
in Maine.
It's on South Carolina's on the coast.
Yeah, maybe he started
It's not
in the
on the
ocean.
way to anything unless you're in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. He's on his way to California. Man, is it just filmed there, or is it really South Carolina?
It's set in South Carolina.
Fuck me.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how he ends up,
not.
because I think he goes from like New York or DC or something.
Yeah, you would not take this route to go to California. Anyway, yeah, his car breaks down, and if you're familiar with the movie Cars, which later did this exact same thing,
Mm-hmm.
his car breaks down in this podunk small town, and they don't know when the car will ever get fixed, but he's got a deadline. He's got like a few days before his big interview with the plastic surgeon.
Well, and doesn't he try to earn money to get the car fixed by doing doctor shit in the town, like by...
I don't know if he needs to earn money, but I think while he's
sentenced.
there... Oh, he's sentenced.
He's sentenced
That's
to community
right.
service. He did something afoul of the law.
Which is also Cars.
Well, also Cars, yeah. Jesus.
But yeah, he's totally like Cars. He's sentenced to community service as a doctor in that community.
So he becomes the doctor of this community, and he starts, sort of meeting these people who make up the town and everything. He's very driven to be this plastic surgeon, mainly because I think of the amount of money that you can make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really necessarily wants to do it. It's just more about the money and everything. And so he starts meeting all these people, and he ends up running into a naked Julie Warner in a
sure does
in a river of some sort, a lake.
Some body of water.
I don't remember what kind of body of water it was because I was just watching Julie Warner. It's the most naked you'll ever see a PG-13 character.
Incredibly, and it comes out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Like you're watching this movie, it's a delightful movie. Michael J. Fox is fantastic. And then like all of a sudden, titties.
Yeah, how
And
the
you're like-
fuck did they get away with a PG-13 rating? Like,
and not only like a flash,
It's
fucking
a
she
full on.
slowly comes
Right.
up.
It's-
And like
it's not like Titanic where Kate Winslet's just lying there and it's
Right.
like, okay, that's a tasteful whatever. This is like an absolutely like sexy scene.
Yeah.
Where she's coming out of the water and then she comes up to him and like not even embarrassed,
yeah, it's just talking to him.
By the way, never understood this reasoning. I don't have anything you haven't seen before. Like that's the reason why you're not embarrassed. I've never understood that rule.
Well, maybe it's a doctor thing.
Never understood. No, I've never understood that at all. Like maybe it is a doctor thing, but still,
Yeah.
if I ran into somebody who's like seen 10,000 penises, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, yeah, well, you've seen them before,
Yeah, well, it'd be like you're at a party, you find out the person you're talking to is a gynecologist, so you just whip that shit out.
Exactly.
Oh, well, you've seen plenty of these, so I'm going to do away with this pesky dress.
Right. Never understood that shit.
Well, it's like the Nicole Kidman thing in Eyes Wide Shut, where she's like, when you're playing with the little titties,
Yeah.
do you feel like they
Nicole Kidman, Bill Cosby.
Nicole Cosby?
Oh boy. But anyway, yes, as these movies are wont to do, he starts loving everybody in the town, starts loving being in the town, and he has second thoughts about wanting to be a plastic surgeon. He still goes to the interview.
Yep.
But he has second thoughts. Now, of course, they make that interview one of the most ridiculous. It's funny, but it's one of the most ridiculous places he could ever go to an interview. Like, it's one of those, like, when you walk in and there's like people dancing and shit. I don't know. It's like, it's one of those, it's like a nightclub almost that he walks into or whatever. I haven't seen it in forever, but everything's ridiculous. And George Hamilton is the main, like, guy. And then he just ends up saying, you know what? I really, miss that small town. I can really do good there and everything. Doc Hollywood's a decent movie.
Dude, Michael J. Fox, like from 1984 to 1995-ish or something like that, or maybe even more with Spin City. Like he's just so magnetic. And even now, obviously with the Parkinson's, his abilities are diminished, but like he's so charismatic. Like you just want to watch him. He did like a really nice multi-episode arc in Scrubs.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was fantastic after his diagnosis. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty much behind anything.
Didn't he play
in.
OCD in that?
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael J. Fox. I do wonder what his career would have been like had he not been sort of what would be the best word? Not sidetracked, but I guess.
I mean, it's a disability.
Yeah, if he
it's
hadn't
a
been
disease.
disabled by
Right.
Parkinson's, because he did fight through it there for a while as, being on these guest appearances and everything. I haven't seen him in a while now.
He did like a Back to the Future thing with
I remember
Christopher
that.
Lloyd on some award show a
Yeah.
couple years ago. That's the last time I've seen it.
I remember.
Speaking of disability, when I was glancing trying to find out about the video status, I saw that apparently Bryan Cranston is having to defend himself for playing a guy with a disability in this upcoming
really?
movie. As somebody who is disabled, I think we're maybe going too far with this. Like, race, that's something we should probably be sensitive to.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But-
Aloha probably shouldn't have had Emma Stone in it. But this is not that.
But it's getting to the point where acting is not acting anymore, right?
Right.
If we're saying the line is you have to be
What you're representing.
what you're representing, then you're not acting anymore.
Exactly.
And also that means where is the line? Like, you can't play a wealthy businessman now because you're not a wealthy businessman.
Exactly. I think that it's a slippery ass slope, and we've gone beyond where it's a reasonable thing as a culture to check people on. If we're checking Bryan Cranston on playing a guy in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
we've gone too far.
Yeah.
There's a lot of worse stuff that's been done. Did you see that Golden Globes thing where they made that joke about Aloha?
No.
Sandra Oh made a joke about Crazy Rich Asians. I think it was that movie being the first female starring role since Ghost in the Shell and Aloha for an Asian
Yeah, for an
actress.
Asian
And then Emma Stone in the audience yelled, "I'm sorry!" And everyone loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, God bless her.
God bless her.
On to Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
So training takes place in South
I guess, yeah, that would have to be the training.
There's a lot of military. There's a base. I think it's Paris Island or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Marine base down there. In fact, a buddy that is a Marine trained down there said it was hot as hell. But that's why a lot of these things, we're going to get into a couple of different like military things. But yeah, all the boot camp stuff in Full Metal Jacket was there.
It's all the stuff that people like about Full Metal Jacket
Yes.
is the South Carolina part. I am interested in. I would love to hear Stanley Kubrick's thoughts on why he made this movie the way he did, because as a genius as he is, you have to know he had to know that he was blowing his wad basically by midway through the movie.
Yes. I've been thinking about this movie a lot for whatever reason. And it's such a weird movie for him to make, even just with that first half.
Mhm.
Like, yes, he's got the tracking camera shots when they're walking and, parading soldiering and stuff like that. But, like, you could tell me this was made by somebody else, and I'd probably be like, okay.
It would
But you
make
can't tell me The Shining was made by somebody else.
it almost like that's the movie he wants to make, is that first half. And like he would have loved to have almost, and Kubrick had the power, so it's not like I feel like the studios came in and said, you got to have some Vietnam War in
Oh
this.
no, he wanted to remake Passive Glory. He wanted to make a different war movie than he had already done. And so he wanted all that shit.
Okay.
He loved that stuff at the end. From what I've seen in like
no,
the
and
background.
I've said before, I like it too. It's
Right.
just that it's a downhill from there. It's
Yeah.
a downhill that it's really like, I mean, you really have just emotionally exhausted the audience halfway through. And then when it gets to Vietnam doesn't even feel like a thing really after that.
And again, I don't think there's anything necessarily special. There are a few fantastic Kubrickian shots that look fantastic, but otherwise, I mean, you got the me so horny thing, you got the Joker helmet and all that stuff, like the killer stuff. Like, it's just not remarkable to me. But obviously, that first half is so fucking amazing. It's basically a character piece by Arlie Ermey and Vincent D'Onofrio. Like, Matthew Modine is, a side character essentially at that point. So I don't know. I can watch that first half over and over again, but it still doesn't feel like this is up there in like the upper echelon of Kubrick movies.
May have mentioned this on the SinCast before, but Arlie Ermey getting that role was an interesting story in of itself. Because the guy who's on the helicopter with them, who's blowing away a bunch of innocent civilians and is like, hey, war hell, and blah, you should write a story about me sometime. And he's like, why? Because I'm so fucking good. That was supposed to be the drill sergeant.
Oh, wow.
And so like he had that role. Imagine this. You're an actor.
He's an actor. He's not the actual drill
Right,
sergeant, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's an actor, and he gets this role in a Stanley Kubrick movie. And then you're told you're the drill sergeant. This is the meatiest part of the entire movie. And then Arlie Ermey's over here. He's giving like all these like tips and tricks about how to be a soldier and everything. And he starts like surreptitiously basically doing his audition videos during all these different things that he's doing with the actors. And like the tape just kind of gets into Stanley Kubrick's hands. and then it's like, oh, this guy's really good as this drill sergeant. And then they had to give this poor guy the news. Somebody else is going to be in this role. We'll give you the thing where you're on the helicopter.
It's
though.
like, it's like, Kirsten Dunst in Spider-Man 2, where she's like actually rehearsing the song when they tell her, oh, we fired you. Or she shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And the other girl's rehearsing the song. Oh, we fired you. That could have been handled better.
You know what's a controversial opinion? Is that, God, it's so close. Stripes came out in 1981, 6 years before this. And they're structured basically the same. Like it's all like the boot camp and stuff like that for the first half, and then it's a forgettable second half. I could watch both of those first halves for Full Metal Jacket and Stripes and enjoy them probably equally. And yeah, that's a weird thing.
I think that's okay. That's an acceptable opinion.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Ivan Reitman.
On to G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Oh, Jesus. Is this the one with Bruce Willis?
I think this has Bruce Willis coming out of
the thing.
Yeah, coming out of the trunk.
Oh, what a shit movie.
Yeah, there was a time where Jeremy and I tried to do a fake movie review show where Bruce Willis, like, so every movie had that scene in it. So like, it's like, you will not believe the Bruce Willis scene or whatever. And it's always him coming out of the trunk. I don't remember. Did I see this movie? I don't think I saw this movie. I saw the first G.I. Joe.
I like I'm on record as liking the first G.I. Joe because it's got Channing Tatum, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
This is the one that has The Rock in it, right?
This has got The Rock. It's got Chatham Tanning.
Yeah.
Chatham Schmatum.
Yes.
He's in there for like a hot minute, but he's gone. Like all the parts I find endearing about the first one is just like, yeah, thrown out the window.
Stockard Channing Tatum.
Yes.
Weird mashup.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Don't see it.
No.
Yeah. Then we have a really good movie, Glory.
Ooh.
This is
This is South Carolina as fuck because the
Yeah,
whole
this is-
contingent is down there, and they storm the Charleston beach at the end.
Yes. So Glory is a great movie. This is, I believe, the first R-rated movie I ever saw in theaters. I was 12, but I think it was one of those it's one of those type of R-rated movies where, and this is American culture, where it's just R-rated for the violence, really. And I don't think there was very many, like, there's not swears, there's no nudity, there's nothing.
There's
like,
no sudden titties. I know that.
No, there's not.
I think there's some language issues, especially between Denzel and
Yeah,
and
this was
Morgan Freeman.
my probably my first introduction into Denzel Washington too, and he has a scene that you cannot watch without probably crying when he gets whipped, because just the look on his face, he doesn't scream, but his face says everything, and it's just it's a devastating thing. So Matthew Broderick is in this.
He's the part that always throws me.
Yeah.
I know.
Because I think I had yet to take him seriously as an actor because he was Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, this was only like 3 years away from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, and so he really stands out to me.
He's not very good either.
Well, that's what I remember.
He's supposed to have a
I saw
Boston
this
accent.
like 10 years ago is the most recent time I saw this, and I loved it. But I remember thinking he stood out as a problem.
He does. It's interesting to say the white guys stand out like a sore thumb. Carrie Elways is fine, but like not really. Like Andre Braugher is so great, Morgan Freeman's so great, Denzel Washington. That anybody that's not up to their level really. It's like a Keanu versus Al Pacino thing. Like you notice the difference, you know.
But it tells the story of was it the only black regiment in the entire Union Army, or was it
I think
one
it was
of
the first
many?
one.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's one of those like I know at 12 I was like really? I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was possible back then.
Well, and isn't that final beach storming, isn't that like basically a suicide mission?
Yes.
That they're sending them on?
Yes, it is.
And so it's almost racist in and of itself, like how we used that regiment, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, it may have been the impetus for that South Park
may
thing.
have.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing that it gets lost in all this. Yes, the South was a bunch of racist assholes, but the Union found ways to be racist assholes that, oh yeah, well, we'll let slaves be free and everything, but there's a lot of other just fucked up shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that you sort of, forget about all of that is like, yeah, they may have been progressive about one thing, but not a lot of things.
As an aside, I read the other day about a play opening off Broadway. It's actually in a cafe. So it may be like super off Broadway, like where Costanza's La Cocina plays. But it's called The Haunting of Lin-Manuel Miranda. And it's basically trying to take to task the stage play Hamilton for what it perceives to be historical inaccuracies. Because apparently, now I've seen the show twice. I didn't fucking memorize it. But this guy claims that the Hamilton show says Hamilton was an abolitionist when in reality he was a slave trader. I don't remember the show Hamilton making slavery a big point.
No, it doesn't. Well, and that in of itself is why there's some controversy about that show.
Right.
Because they do gloss that over, but I don't remember anything about slaves in that show at all.
Right. And so if he's painted as an abolitionist, it's done so in a subtle way. Like there's no song where he's like, slavery is bad.
Right.
But anyway, I just think it's fascinating that even Hamilton has a detractor enough that he wrote a whole goddamn play about it, and he's going to put it on and off Broadway.
There you go.
I will be heard.
Yes.
It's not throwing away a shot.
Then we have Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson. Man, we're going through a lot of
South Carolina is problematic.
problematic stuff today, but this is about the conscientious objector who doesn't kill one man in the I guess the titular battle there. He's in the army, but all he does is he's a medic. It's Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he saves a lot of people.
He does. This should have been a short film. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
I've seen parts of it.
I have.
The section where he's saving all the people is riveting. And a lot of the war fighting footage is shot spectacularly because for all his murky, problematic ways, Mel Gibson knows what to do with the camera.
Yep.
But man, the first hour of this movie is boring as shit.
Yeah.
And
which I think is the South Carolina portion, right?
It is. Yeah. It's him sort of explaining, I'm not going to do this. I'm not. And his dad is like a minor villain because he wants his kid to have a gun. Plus, it looks funky. Like the filter he put on the camera makes everything look a little Hallmarky. It's a little weird.
And it's the big, the love story between he and Teresa Palmer. That's setting that all up and everything. And it's like, okay,
It's like trying to be a biopic for an hour and then a war film for an hour.
Yeah.
And really, if it had just chosen one or the other, it would have worked better. I didn't enjoy my experience with it.
You didn't like it?
Not really.
How was Vince Vaughn? I saw
Vince Vaughn is really good in it.
He's great. He's great.
I want Vince Vaughn to keep flexing these chops.
Have you seen that Cell Block movie?
No, but I really want to. Have you seen
it? No.
Yeah, apparently that's really good. And I heard him on the Maltons podcast, and he was talking about his more dramatic stuff. And
and
it's very interesting.
And that much maligned season 2 of True Detective, I thought he was good. It's just that it was just a complete misfire from beginning to end. And
boy, the trailers for this third season are starting to get me excited.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it. But I thought he was good in that, even though they put some character quirks in there that were weird and all that. But I mean, all in all, it's like, damn, he's pretty good in this, even though this season is just a garbage fire.
I mean, we all knew after Domestic Disturbance he had dramatic chops.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody who watched that movie and didn't think he would be the greatest living actor of our generation. Then we go on to The Marine. I never saw this.
Oh, is this John Cena?
Yes.
Oh, I never saw this either because
God.
it's John Cena, but it's John Cena like 12 years ago.
Yeah,
it's not
this
like
is pre-comedic John Cena. Yeah, this is right off of WWE. In fact, I think he was still wrestling at this time.
He was still wrestling 3 years ago.
Was he really?
Yeah, he still wrestles.
Well, he still does
somewhat regularly.
There was a big deal about the WWE going to Saudi Arabia after the Khashoggi killing and all that. And he was one of the people who said,
Refused to go,
I'm not going to go and everything. So he's still a part of all of it.
Also, I think we've mentioned this before, but he's the single biggest wish fulfiller in all of Make-A-Wish Foundation's history. Like, he's fulfilled more wishes for that organization than like the next 10 people in line combined.
Wow.
Good dude.
Like, whatever my opinion of his acting is, I've already filed this guy in good guy. Just like Keanu Reeves. I've
Yeah.
read too much good shit that he's done. But man, this movie, I've never seen it, but it looks terrible.
Well, it's got a 4.6 on the IMDb.
I tell you what else it's got is a cult ass following.
Does it?
People, people love.
Well,
this
they
movie.
made a couple sequels.
I think so. Yeah. And I don't
With
think
another
he's in it.
wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's another wrestler in the second one.
No, this is pure. It's exactly what you think it is. And I didn't enjoy it at all, but like reading about this is like people love this shit.
There's fucking 6 of these.
Oh my God! I didn't know that. Okay, I got a new marathon. I got to do like the species.
The Marine 2 has Ted Biasi Jr., and then the next 4 have Mike the Miz Mizanin.
Oh, he's from
a
the real
wrestler.
world. He was from the real world. He wanted to be a wrestler on that show.
Yeah.
Made up the name The Miz.
Yes.
And then after the real world, he made that dream happen.
Yes, he became a
Jesus.
wrestler.
I think he's a big moron. He's got his own reality show. I don't know if you've ever seen.
No, I've just seen him on the challenge.
He's got a
recaps.
reality show much like the Bella Twins or whatever. He's a big doofus.
Yeah.
But he made that dream happen.
There's no doubt who these movies are aimed for. The Marine 3, Home Front. The Marine 4, Moving Target. The Marine 5, Battleground. The Marine 6, Close Quarters.
The Marine 7, Make America Great Again.
Yeah, exactly. They come out with one like almost every year.
That's crazy.
That
What else is the Miz?
Sorry,
gonna
by
do?
the way, for anyone that thinks I was lumping wrestling fans in with Trump supporters there, I was not. I'm sorry. I was just making a joke about it.
That first Marine has Kelly Carlson from Nip Tuck. You know?
Oh, yeah.
She's a fine filly.
Yeah, I mean, this is. you inspected her. The fuck did that come from?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Someplace deep down.
Somewhere I've been wanting to use that. It's like, man, I need to find a place where I can say that. And it was like back in 2005, and it
Pictures.
finally, 14 years
What a
later.
weight off that must be.
Yeah, it is, man. I feel like 10 pounds lighter. Then we have, as Barrett refers to it, the fucking Notebook.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Do we even really need to spend that much time on this?
No, we don't. It's is this still the go-to romantic movie for
I think so. I mean, it was a
For
phenomenon.
for the Nicholas Sparks crowd, maybe.
Well, yeah, for a majority of women, I think. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah.
they
he will never get a cast like this though, like Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, who weren't huge at the time when it came out, but I don't think there'll ever be a movie that has two as bright future stars.
Yeah.
That's sort of probably the carrying power to this, is that those two became huge after that.
What's funny is that between those two, that's a lot of sex appeal. Like, that's a lot of
Yeah.
sexy. This movie's not sexy, though.
No, it really isn't.
It's very chaste.
Yeah.
It's very, like you said, Nicholas Sparksy, like Hallmarky, like, romantic in quotes. I mean, so romantic that fucking James Gardner like crawls up with Gina Rowlands at the end and fucking dies with her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll spoil the Notebook.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
It's been 15 years, fucking
It
assholes.
has. I hate that movie.
Yeah, we don't need to spend too much time on it.
James Garner.
Then we have another Mel Gibson, The Patriot.
Oh, now this one I do love.
You
Yeah.
like this one? This is Roland Emmerich, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the best Roland Emmerich film.
Is
It's-
it better than Independence Day?
Yes.
I haven't seen The Patriot since 2000. So
It's close. It's good.
It's also sneaky long because you watch it and it feels like a normal movie, but it's like 240.
Yeah,
maybe?
We said
245.
this, and it went on and on
is
and on.
long, but I think all the performances are fine. I'm a big American history nerd, especially Revolutionary history. It is South Carolina, stated repeatedly over and over again. And yeah, I just find it really fucking watchable. I don't know if it's good.
So this was Heath Ledger after 10 Things I Hate About You, right? Because this was 2000, but pre-Dark Knight, obviously, and pre...
Four Feathers.
Yeah, it's pre Four Feathers
back and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's pre Knight's Tale. It's
well, the reason that I bring this up is that he was really showing off that he wasn't just the heartthrob in 10 Things I Hate About You. Like he's got a meaty role in this, and I think he's really good.
He is really good. Mel's really good. Mm-hmm. He's Mel.
Yeah.
But we also have Jason Isaacs in this as the villain. Yeah. And he's over the top.
God damn, he's villainous.
By the way, I watched Death of Stalin, by the way. I'm so glad that Jason Isaacs gets to play a different kind of role in that movie than any other movie I've ever seen him in, because he's always the villain. And in this, he comes in, he's not the villain or anything. He's not a villain, really. But he's so funny in that fucking movie.
Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I did.
I love the part when the cars are pulling out and Barry runs over to salute. And so they all get out and run over, and then Barry only did that so his car could go first. And then Buscemi's like, "What are we fucking last now?"
yeah.
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, but
yeah, he's funny.
But I haven't seen this since 2000, and this is another one of those movies. You'll notice that I had a long, illustrious projectionist career. So there's movies that I think of disasters more than I think of the actual movie themselves. And The Patriot is one of them. This wasn't a big disaster, but it was like, we had something it was a sneak preview, 400 people in this auditorium. And like the lens had something blurry on it or something. Like it was making the whole thing. You couldn't focus it. So the lens was messed up, and I would sit there and I was trying to clean it and everything, but like whatever was in that lens was down underneath. Like it was, you would actually have to like either wait it out, or you would have to like actually pull the lens apart to clean it, because it was on the other side somehow. Like something may have leaked in or whatever, but it was one of those, 400 fucking people. And it was like, it was like blurry and all that. And it's like, we don't know what the issue is. That blur is going to be on there for the rest of the movie. Sorry. I think it did go away like about Reel 5 or something like that. But yeah, that's the thing that I remember the Patriot about the most. And I remember Russell going to the front of the theater and saying, there's something wrong with the movie. Sorry about all that and everything, but everybody can sit down. It's going to start here in a minute. You can all enjoy your free movie. So you like The Patriot, huh?
I do.
Like I said,
watchable.
I haven't seen it since 2000, so
I have seen it probably 20 times. Like, it's not Office Christmas Party. Jeremy keeps watching it. There's something there. I don't know. There's a couple of really great shots. There's one section where Mel has finally decided to go off and join the war after being resistant the whole time, and he catches up to his son, and they're just in this abandoned house looking out a window, and there's a full-scale battle going on, and that shot is fucking fantastic, and it just gets my... Plus Donald Logue is in this. There's a lot of great people in this that you forget. Chris Cooper's in this. A lot of good people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Then we have Radio. Cuba Gooding Jr., Ed Harris.
Never saw it.
It's hard for
I
me
never
to
saw
say,
this either.
This is not a movie that I would watch over and over again, but it's based on a true story about this mentally disabled kid in high school that befriends a coach who's played by Ed Harris, and it's exactly what you think it is.
He doesn't play football, does he?
No, he
just does like stats or something.
No, he gets into the game and scores the winning touchdown.
Oh my God, no! I think he like helps him out with the equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's an equipment guy.
Yeah. And Cuba Gooding is perfectly fine. Ed Harris is Ed Harris. He's fine. But I actually own this movie somehow.
Interesting.
But it's not great.
On the last one on the Barrett Seen It list, we have Slither, which is the James Gunn movie that came out in 2006.
Do you like this movie?
Who's in it?
Nathan Fillion and Elizabeth Banks.
Never saw it.
I saw this. This is right up your fucking alley.
It really is.
Oh my God. This is your movie
all
the way.
All right.
It's a Tremors style type of movie where it's like these little slithering snake eel type things are going around. There's the classic shot of the chick in the bathtub and the slithering thing comes towards her legs as it, yeah.
Say no more. Sounds like a porno I saw recently.
Yeah, this is his directorial debut. I'm trying to remember, is Jenna Fisher in this? Because I know he was married to Jenna Fisher at one point.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Well, maybe.
Jenna Fisher from The Office?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she's in this too. But it's one of those perfectly good B movies that's got a lot of fun in it. And
Well, James Gunn, I think, wrote it too. Yeah, he wrote it. And it's got, especially with Nathan Fillion and Elizabeth Banks, like nice dialogue. Like it's irreverent and that kind of thing. And it's actually kind of fun.
I do love me some Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, he's good.
yeah, it's a fun movie. I highly recommend it. Michael Rooker's in it too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then on the other list here we have Bastard Out of Carolina. I've never seen this.
That's an actual movie?
Yeah, it was
Came on Showtime, huh?
Yeah, and it was directed by Angelica Houston, and won at least one Emmy and was nominated for a bunch of them. It's got a really good cast: Jennifer Jason Leigh, Jenna Maloney, Ron Eldard, Glenn Headley. Is it Headley?
I think it's Headley.
Yeah. Michael Rooker.
Yeah, of course.
Abe Vigoda.
Yeah.
And Christina Ricci.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. So.
All right.
Then we have The Beach House. I've never seen this.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you've seen this.
This sounds like a slasher movie.
Have I?
No, it's like a Nicholas Sparksy type of thing.
Girls
But
drink wine.
It's directed by Roger Spottiswoode.
Oh yeah, he did a Bond movie, didn't he?
I think he did.
I've seen his laughing about his name, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. He did Tomorrow Never Dies.
And it stars Minka Kelly and Chad Michael Murray.
I do like me some Minka Kelly.
I do too.
Yeah.
But no, never saw this. Then we have Beautiful Creatures.
Have you not seen this?
Did that have that's Emmy Rossum and
It has everybody in this.
I remember seeing the trailer for this and I was like, "Yep, not going to see that."
It has Alden Ehrenreich, Jeremy's Iron. It's got Emmy Rossum, Viola Davis, Emma Thompson, Margot Martindale, like Pruitt Taylor Vince, Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
He's not really in it, is he? God, that would be
But
awesome.
I mean, this seems like something that you would have seen, Jeremy. Like look at the poster. I mean, it looks
it does look like one of those ensembles I gravitate
It's
towards.
the woods.
This is in the middle of that. Just like every little fantasy YA novel was being made, and this trailer came out, and I was like, Jesus, this just like how the Mortal Engines trailer came out. It's the same sort of deal. You watch it, and you just get tired.
Yeah.
You get like physically tired watching the trailer. You're like, I know this. I'm not going to watch this. This is such a waste of time. But no, I haven't seen it. Then Conrack. I've seen Conrack.
Have you seriously?
Yeah.
Is it Lean on Me with John Voight?
Kind of. Yeah. I saw this forever ago, but I used to have was it a history teacher? I think it was a history teacher in high school who really loved showing Conrack. And I don't know why. I mean, he's old. But he loved showing Conrack, and we saw this movie. Yeah, it's kind of
He hitched his wagon to Conrack.
Yeah, I don't know. John Voight. Yeah, it's kind of a Lean on Me back in the 1970s.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it though. I just saw it in high school.
Mm-hmm.
The Great Santini. This is a movie that I've never seen, but I do remember the video cover because I used to walk past this a bunch at Blockbuster, and it's like Robert Duvall with his arms held up or something like that.
He's got like a Travis Bickle haircut type of thing, like a mohawk.
Yeah.
I've never seen it either, but apparently it's not, because it's also based on a true story, or based on a novel.
Pat Conroy novel.
It's a lot of like Conrack.
Yeah.
It seems like the type of movie that Chris Cooper would be watching in American Beauty.
Yeah. Exactly. That's right.
And it may be much, much more than that. But.
Yeah. Then we have Magic Mike XXL. I've only seen the first Magic Mike. I never saw the sequel.
Me
I
either.
like the first Magic
Why
Mike.
does the sequel go to South Carolina?
They're going to Myrtle Beach for a stripping contest,
Well-
which means you were saying like you went to play golf at Myrtle Beach. You were going to the stripper convention, weren't you?
There's a stripper convention?
That's where my Magic Mike is going.
But if it's dude strippers, 15-year-old me would not have been interested in that. Now, 43-year-old me, it's all about it.
Yeah,
But 15-year-old me...
dick.
that's right. That's a lot of dicks. No, I remember at the end of Magic Mike, they're trying to go to Orlando, I think is.
Yeah, I think so.
There's some big city that they're trying to get to and achieve their stripping dreams.
Right, because they're in Tampa, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Orlando or Miami or something. But then I guess in this one they're like, oh, stripper competition, got to go to South Carolina.
Exactly. I think they get the band back together. The first one was directed by Soderbergh. wasn't
Yes, it was.
This one's Gregory Jacobs, so I never saw it.
No.
The Secret Life of Bees. I never saw this.
It's exactly like The Secret Life of Pets,
Yeah.
only with bees.
Right. So it's like B movie. Secret Life of Bees was Dakota Fanning. I may have actually seen this.
Yeah, I mean, this was right in your New York wheelhouse.
Yeah, I was in New York at the time. I may have seen this and not remembered any of it.
Queen Latifah and Jennifer Hudson.
Lily Owens, a 14-year-old girl who is haunted by the memory of her late mother. To escape her lonely life and troubled relationship with her father, T-Ray, Lily flees with Rosaline, her caregiver and friend, to a South Carolina town that holds the secret to her mother's past. I think I did see this, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. Then we have Shag. I remember trailers for Shag.
Yeah.
And if this was 1989, this will be on Movies Going on 30.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Shag.
This had everybody, too. It had Phoebe Cates, Bridget Fonda, Annabeth Gish, like everybody in the late 80s that was anybody was going to be in
And then
this
what
one.
is the movie about? Obviously, it's shagging, but like, what is the premise of the
isn't
movie?
it a dance or
Yeah,
something?
it's a South Carolina-ish dance style. Shag dancing.
Oh, it's
I don't
not
know
about
what it
sex?
involves.
Yeah,
I think there's probably some sex in there, too.
Better
yeah.
be.
This is set in Myrtle Beach, and it's like women going crazy, women gone
Well,
wild.
there's stripper competitions down there.
There are. And then we have the first Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Which I did see. If I saw the sequel, then I definitely saw this one.
Okay,
there's
I
pants.
saw the sequel to Ride Along and didn't see the first one.
Yeah, so anyway, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It's good for what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I would probably watch it if you put it on right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, recommends and warns.
Totes amaze balls.
It won the Academy Award
Oh, for what?
for Best Movie Ever Made.
We got some good ones for you
Got
today.
some good ones. Yeah. I feel like I keep forgetting something that I want to mention because I've seen like about 30 movies in the last 3 weeks. Probably.
Jesus.
Yikes.
Wow.
I've seen a lot.
Are you cramming for the year in review, or is it just you just
Yeah,
happen to
cramming for the year in review, doing this 1989 podcast, finding stuff on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen Bird Box, I've seen Bandersnatch, and I've seen after Jonathan talked about Haunting of Hill House, I watched that whole thing. Then there's like there was a point where I had like 4 or 5 straight trips to movie theaters. And just trying to fit everything in, trying to get all those movies.
'Tis the season.
My recommend this week will be Escape Room.
Wow. Okay, so out of all that stuff would you say that this was your favorite experience? Because obviously it's not the best movie that you've seen.
No,
right?
and you were talking about this during the Patreon plug. Experiences and things of that nature. I don't know what it was about this particular experience. It was me, it was Barrett, it was Jonathan, our buddy Dave. And we all saw this at the theater near Barrett. And now I don't think I didn't have any expectations for Escape Room. In fact, even though this is a recommend, I can't call it a rec-a-warn either.
Yeah.
Because there's enough good in this that I think it's worth seeking this movie out. As Barrett says, if it had been 8% smarter, this would be just a classic.
Hmm.
There are some things about it that I don't like, but something about this experience, especially afterwards, we're at the sushi place and I'm drinking sake.
Chris slammed a bottle of sake. That
great. Experience was the best part of the night. Like the escape room was fun, but like it was a great chaser at the end to throw in like a bottle of sake. Escape room is I didn't know that they were actual escape rooms before this movie started advertising.
Oh yeah.
It was there was somebody who brought it up 2 or 3 weeks ago and said, "Oh yeah, I've done some escape rooms around Nashville." And I was like, "Oh, really? I didn't even know the things existed." But I like it when there are puzzles and the people have to figure it out. This does more puzzle solving than all of Ready Player One.
That's true. Yeah, from the get-go too.
Right. And I wish there had been maybe more and more clear thought processes, because a lot of times it's like, oh, I'll just do this, and it just happened to be the right thing. And there's a point where the main girl who's in it walks off from the rest of the team or whatever, and just like sort of instinctively knows to reach into a polar bear mouth.
Oh, yeah.
All this other stuff. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Each one of these little rooms that they're put in is just, I don't know, they get you in a mood on each one of them.
Yeah, and they stay there for a while.
Yeah, there's only one room where they're just like in and out.
Yeah.
But then like the first room they're in, when everybody's getting to know each other, and then they realize, oh, the fucking thing has started. That's fun. The one where they're in the ice world is fun.
Mm-hmm.
The one where they're in the billiard room is fun.
Oh yeah.
I don't like any of the ending, I don't think.
I like a little bit of the ending.
Yeah, there's a really good like stinger type thing at the end, but yes, it would be wrong to call it a Wreck of Warren, because a Wreck of Warren is a movie that you know is bad and that you're still recommending,
right?
Or you should you be able to find something good in it or whatever. So this one I'm recommending.
I think you would like this one too.
Yeah, I saw Jonathan tweeting about it, and I've seen some other people talking about it, and to the point where it has probably, that's kind of what has to happen for a horror movie for me, because it's not really my bag. But once enough people that I trust say, oh, this is exceptional horror, like with Get Out or Quiet Place, well, I'll eventually watch it. It's the only reason I ever watched It Follows or Happy Death Day, and I enjoyed both of those.
This is much more in the Happy Death Day type of feeling. It's not a slasher, obviously, but it's got that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's have you ever seen Cube?
Yeah, and I was about to say, this movie's leaps and bounds above Cube.
Yes, and I love Cube.
Yeah.
But if I watched it again today, I'd be like, yeah, that movie's dumb.
Yeah, Cube is Cube. The problem with Cube is that it never really puts you in a world. It's all Cube the entire time. Each room in this is a new, different, highly realized section set piece. Mm-hmm. Deborah Ann Wall is all sorts of cute in this movie.
She is. She looks the exact same now that she did
when
10,
she first
12
started
years
True
ago.
Blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
That girl Taylor Russell's a cutie.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's also really good. There's one character that becomes a caricature at some point, but like otherwise, everybody's really good.
Jay Ellis from Insecure is in it. It's a fun movie. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of how the first Saw was, where I was like, this is a good start to maybe something big, and then Saw got progressively more ridiculous as it went along. There's some hits and misses along the way, but I feel like with an even more realized, I guess an even more realized world and everything, the sequel could be better than this. And like they could, if as long as they keep it where people are thinking and they're trying to solve puzzles and stuff like that, I'll be happy with it.
That's what elevates these things to not just schlock, is put like a little bit of thought into world building, like you said, like actually like letting you sit in this world to where you feel actual stakes.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
All right.
So recommend that shit.
Very good.
All right.
We doing recommends first? Then
Sure.
we'll go around. All right. So I haven't seen much new. And I've already talked about Death of Stalin for 3 straight podcasts now. So I'm gonna have to reach back for an older movie that I have seen recently, and my recommend is going to be The Rainmaker.
Okay.
Which is actually,
This is Grisham, right?
You did not remember this, but the official name of this movie is John Grisham's The Rainmaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the title of the movie.
And Francis Ford Coppola directed this.
Francis Ford
that's right.
Coppola directed this, and I think for most people, they watched it, thought it was pretty good, and moved on with life. And that's probably, I'm not here to tell you the movie's a masterpiece, but I think most of you have forgotten it. Not you two, but, the listeners. And it's worth another look. Everyone is really solid in this. Damon is not doing anything flashy, acting-wise.
Matt Damon is the main character.
Matt Damon is the
right?
main character, Rudy, and he's a brand new lawyer.
And it came out 4 months before Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he was not a big star when this came out. And then Good Will Hunting later, like that same year, came out, and then he became a big deal.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how The Rainmaker would have done had it come out a few months after.
Yeah, if they'd have known what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito is great in this. He doesn't even have a law. Like, he's not even able to practice law, even though he does. Like, he's failed the bar exam like 5 times. They work out of an office for Mickey Rourke's mobster. I think his name is Bruiser. He's basically a mobster, and Danny DeVito does, like, legal shit for the mob guy.
Yeah.
And together they tackle this case against this insurance company. Claire Danes is in this. You might have forgotten. She's a jewelry store worker that he falls in love with. Her boyfriend is abusive and beats her, and Matt Damon has to
I
save her.
think
to rescue
Damon
her.
and Danes were both dating at the time, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I know.
That's a lot of sexy right there.
Yeah, it is.
And then you have, I'm too old for this shit. Danny Glover is the, is the judge.
Yeah. And he's great.
He's great because he kind of cheats to help Matt Damon along. He knows Matt Damon has no experience, and and so there are moments where he's like, "Would you like to object to that?" Like, some stuff like that. John Voight is playing the other attorney,
And Voight is great in this.
perfect for this role. It's an insurance company who had on paper a policy that you were to deny all claims initially, but they had 2 separate guidebooks, employee guidebooks, so that when they were presenting to the court, they just presented the fake one. And Virginia Madsen is the person that used to work at the company and knows about this and ends up being the witness that ties it all together. Anyway, I had forgotten how good it was. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's really, really solid, and we've just kind of forgotten it. And,
Is Virginia Madsen the one who gets the promotions and like to keep quiet?
yes.
Okay, yeah. There's a scene I keep thinking of. What's the part where John Voight says something like, "Oh, it gives no satisfaction to me either," or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's a funny part because he's a villainous lawyer, but I feel like he's just doing his job. Like, it's not like he's a dick. He's just,
Yes, it's like he knows he's evil, but he still values money more. But there's even a little bit of respect by the end for Matt Damon's character, like, "Oh, you got me on this one, but I'm still the devil." Like, he knows. Anyway, he's fantastic. He may ultimately be the best thing in the movie. I think DeVito comes close to stealing it, too.
Yeah.
But there's some fun tricks where they realize that the evil guys have tapped their phones, so they make some fake phone calls to throw the evil guys off the course, and some good legal courtroom stuff. I just give it a solid recommend.
Yeah.
Where does this rank on the Grisham movie adaptation scale?
It'd be pretty high up there, if only because most of them have started to fade away for me. I really like The Firm.
The Firm has got to be number one.
It's up
I think,
there
for me.
if it's not number one. And then, they're all kind of middling after that, right? The Client is in there somewhere.
Pelican
Runaway Jury's
Brief.
in there somewhere.
Time
Pelican
to
Brief.
Kill.
Yeah, they're all in there somewhere. But I would put this one probably right up there
probably-
with or under The Firm.
Probably number 2 or 3. For me.
Yeah. Well, nice.
Anyway.
I'm cheating a little bit because I can't fully recommend either of these, but the one that I would recommend more, Warn, is First Reformed.
Okay.
Ooh.
So this has gotten a lot of like awards buzz and stuff like that, particularly for Ethan Hawke. But it's directed by Paul Schrader.
He was great on Letterman.
Yes, he was.
It's a Paul Schaefer joke.
Nice. Well, it's funny because Ethan Hawke was on the Stephen Colbert show last night.
Oh.
So like my wires just
all screwed you up
I'm
there.
like, Letterman's not even on anymore. What?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a character study It's a slow film. It's a deliberate film, and it means to be. Ethan Hawke is fantastic. He's a Protestant preacher in a small town right across the street from a megachurch that does everything, and they're kind of like a subsidiary of it. And he runs the small church and everything, and he is called upon to talk to Amanda Seyfried. Comes in his congregation, and she asks him to talk to her husband, who's having some
she's
depression.
trying to figure out which one of the three guys her mom slept with back in the 60s is her dad.
That's right.
This is. I'm interested to know your thoughts about this.
I can't
because
wait.
It really,
it's actually at the top of my stack of shame.
Okay, so the interesting part about this, it doesn't have a narrative structure as much as it has a contemplative structure, which normally is like right in my wheelhouse. I love that shit. But like the ending is kind of explosive, I guess you could say. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending at all, and I think I knew what it was trying to do, but it just whizzed past me, and I was like, I just can't grasp onto it. Then I read Paul Schrader has been talking a lot about this movie and saying specifically that it was influenced by certain movies, and that they're almost this is almost a carbon copy of several movies, in the past, like art house movies, things like that. And I think that's what bothered me about this movie. There's a lot of style. Like he wanted to match that style. He wanted to do this thing called transcendental filming, which he literally wrote the book on, like when he was 24. And it's too much style for me. There is substance in this, but I think it's almost like Ethan Hawke was doing his own thing and having a fully developed character, but then Schrader was doing his thing, which was purely aesthetic, and they just happened to coincide. And
what has Schrader done besides this?
Oh, he wrote Taxi Driver.
Mostly known as a writer, but he did like Cat People and.
So he's not like. I thought he was like an up and comer. I didn't realize he'd been around for forever.
No, he's been around forever.
Yeah, he's probably in his 70s.
Interesting.
Right now.
Okay.
But it's an interesting movie. You can ruminate on the religious subtext here, and I have, and how Ethan Hawke's character deals with it, how his interactions with Amanda Seyfried become more integral as the movie goes on, and how it ends. But I don't think that was Schrader's intention. I think that's just something that you can read into the film because he puts it up there. But reading the background of it, it looked like he wanted to wow you with the way that he directs, and I'm not with that.
Schrader's got his directorial career is it's a bunch of stuff you haven't heard of, sprinkled in with a whole bunch of stuff that you may have heard of. Like, once you go under First Reformed, stuff like The Canyons, which is that Lindsay Lohan shows her boobs movie.
That was far too casual. That's a subtitle.
Yes. I probably should have ended it with that one, but he did the Dominion prequel to The Exorcist, Autofocus, Affliction. He did a few that are like vaguely familiar. Then there's like Cat People, American Gigolo, Hardcore, which is that George C. Scott thing.
Oh my God, it's my daughter.
Yeah, and Blue Collar, which was his first movie, but I think he's still mostly known as a writer because he did Taxi Driver, and I think he wrote Raging Bull. And, so that's what he's mainly known for.
So anyway, I would encourage you to watch this. I think it missed me, and it may have missed me because I'm being stupid. Honestly, like I may just not be connecting with the themes because I can't wrap my head around it.
Some movies do require you to watch it, digest, and then watch it again later on down the road. And that's why a lot of times, I feel like I'm in an awkward position with the recommends and warns because we still don't have a fully formed opinion of what that these movies are. Yeah. Because my warn is similar to this. My warn is The Mule.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting.
A trailer that wrapped me up. I wanted to see it ever since I first saw the trailer. The thing about The Mule that I found a little strange throughout was I never quite understood why he decided he was going to do this. Aside from the money, yes. But like the way he gets into this, so he's at the very beginning you see that he runs this very successful like flower farm or something like that.
Oh.
And he goes to some convention, some flower convention.
As you do.
Yes. and it's somewhat like early 2000s. He talks to somebody who's going to be using the internet, this newfangled thing called the internet.
God damn it. How out of touch is he at this point?
Yeah. This is 2002 or whatever. I can see an older gentleman like his character not knowing what's coming with the internet.
Yeah,
so,
I guess.
It's still, he's like, oh wow, they're going to deliver flowers through the internet now, huh? That's weird. And so his business goes under because he never gets with the times. He's one of these terrible father types who's always been at the flower farm. He didn't see his daughter.
He spent too much time at the flower farm, John.
I swear to God, there's a scene that's basically like that in there. Because the whole thing is, so Alison Eastwood, his actual real daughter, plays his daughter in this, and he's missed everything, every big moment in her life. And then the big changing moment is he's not there when she gets married. He's not at the wedding ceremony. He's at some flower convention when that happens.
Of course.
So it's many, many years later when his farm goes under. Her daughter has given birth and has got a granddaughter who's now grown up and is going to get married. And actually, I think the daughter was there was already a daughter. Like it couldn't have been that long. So it was like 6 or 7 year old daughter, but now she's 18 or whatever. Played by Thaisa Farmiga, who is Vera Farmiga's younger sister by like 20 years.
She's been in
American Horror Story.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
She looks like a Farmiga.
Yes. Yeah.
She looks he looks exactly like her, just a younger Vera Farmiga.
Yeah.
She's getting married, and after his farm goes down, he goes to the wedding, and his daughter's not having any of it. Like, you can't show up here and just all of a sudden want to be in our lives and all that. So at this wedding, one of the friends of Thaisa Farmiga comes up to him and says, "Oh, you might be looking for work. I don't know," and gives him a card.
Oh, nice.
And it's like, and I'm like, okay, well, he doesn't even ask if it's like illegal, or doesn't seem to be the type that's ready to just start breaking laws. The guy's been running a flower farm for all this time, but he does the first job, and I don't think he quite knows what it is at first, but then when the money is showing up, he's like, okay, I kind of get what this is. So I can kind of get why he keeps doing it, because the money keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it's at some point that he does it so well, he becomes the number one mule in this drug cartel or whatever. And so there's a side story where Bradley Cooper is off trying to find this main guy or whatever. He's trying to find a messenger to Bin Laden type guy to get to this top drug kingpin. And so like Cooper is off somewhere, like it's way across the country or something. And then like they end up hearing about this one guy who's like making all these successful runs and everything. So he ends up, Eastwood is on his radar. He doesn't know he's looking for Eastwood. He just knows he's looking for a guy in this truck or in a style of truck that is like the one Eastwood. Eastwood starts off driving this like really old, like 60s thing, but as his money gets better and better, he's got this big, awesome, like, but, I never could pinpoint, other than pure money, which this movie plays like a video game for a bit, because he's like, first he wants to get money just so that he can live somewhere, I think. And then he gets that money, and I think he's decided he's not going to do it anymore. But then the guy tells him, "Oh, it'll be even more for you on the next run," or whatever. And he sees something else. He's like, oh, okay, well, I can get a better truck with the next money. He gets the better truck. Then he goes to like some Vietnam Veteran Affairs building or something. And they're like, oh man, this could use some renovations. And then it's like, oh, okay. I'm going to keep going out for like all these different, reasons because there's all this stuff that I can like spend money on and whatever. It's not bad. I don't want to go, I guess when I say Warren, it's not as nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. And it's not, and I just never understood his motivations. I really didn't. Yes, money is a big motivator, but a character like this, just none of it makes any sense and everything. And, yes, there is some points where he like, so it starts off with him just kind of, like everybody's just kind of cool with him. And then for whatever, Andy Garcia's in this movie.
For 30 seconds?
Pretty much. Andy Garcia is the Kingpin guy.
Oh, wow.
And Garcia is like pretty cool with everything because Eastwood is doing a damn good job. He's delivering it. He's going to but like, for whatever reason, they're concerned about him for some reason because he doesn't go from point A to point B all the time. And they want to know what's up with that and everything. And I'm like sitting there. That was another big contentious point for me. He's delivering the fucking stuff without any problem, and nobody suspects him because he's an 85-year-old white dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you need from him other than these guys who are like, oh, I want to make sure that he's delivering all this shit. I guess it would be mini spoiler to explain why there's a change in this philosophy. But like, I don't really want to go that far into it, but just know there's a change in philosophy that they're like, oh, now we're going to watch him like a hawk, even though he's been delivering all this stuff perfectly for the entire movie. That's the biggest conflict of the movie. And I was just like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, like if you're a drug cartel that's just getting 100% perfect results every time, what do you fucking care?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was the thing. That was the thing about that movie. That I was like,
Hey, is Bradley Cooper an asshole? Like in real life?
I don't know.
Have you heard these stories? Like he's threatened reporters like in interviews and stuff like that if they ask him anything about his personal life and stuff like that.
I have read a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I can tell you: that making this movie this year with Gaga has turned him into a pretentious, insufferable. I can't listen to him talk.
Really?
Have you seen him interviewed post this movie?
No. But
He sounds like he thinks he's fucking Spielberg.
Really?
The way he talks about the craft and the art and the whatnot. I'm like, dude, you made one movie.
Yeah.
You made one movie.
Yeah.
Sort of the thing that we've been seeing a little bit with Jonah Hill too.
Yes. Yes.
I was just talking to my wife about this very thing, about how Keanu Reeves, every piece of news I hear about him is positive. Right. He's giving up his seat on the subway. He's donating tens of millions of dollars to the crew of The Matrix. He's secretly been funding children's hospitals for years.
Yeah.
This is all true. I'm not making this up. And I was like, that guy is a good guy. There's no question.
Yeah.
But then this year we lost a couple. And I'm telling my wife this. She doesn't know. But I'm like, Jonah Hill and Bradley Cooper both did directorial debuts this year. And both on the other side of it have started sounding really pretentious in interviews. Yeah. And I'm just like Jonah Hill talks like he's a filmmaker.
Well, and meanwhile, like just a couple of years ago, I heard Paul Thomas Anderson on Mark Maron's podcast. And I was expecting this sort of like, accomplished director talking about, being real pretentious about his work. And he was the least pretentious person I have
Those
ever.
are the people that you want to watch their movies.
Yeah. Even though you can argue some of his movies are very pretentious, but like, Maron's like sitting there like, how do you do this thing? This is unbelievable work that you do.
How do you like them movies?
And Paul Thomas Anderson's like, I don't know. Just make the movie. Hope it works out,
Oh, God.
That type of thing.
I legit saw an interview with Bradley Cooper where he's like, before I made this movie, I didn't know how to sing. And then he goes through this whole thing about what the vocal coach taught him about breathing and using his diaphragm, as though like he's the first fucking person to ever learn there's technique to singing.
Yes. It's the craft, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. There's been something that's bugged me about him. I mean, yeah, he started his career being like the smarmy guy, like the fucking Wedding Crashers guy.
Yeah, dude, he was an alias. He was like a nobody on Alias, essentially.
But yeah, it seems like as he's gotten bigger and bigger, it seems like he's become more of an asshole. And maybe that's the perils of fame. Maybe like he's really like into his shit now, and like he doesn't want people diving into his personal life. But something off about that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we're speculating. We've not met the guy, and he may be the nicest guy in the world.
That's true.
Unlike, no, I'm just kidding.
Any warns?
I got a Wreck-A Warn. This is another back in the day movie I think we've all forgotten about that I watched 2 days ago. In Good Company.
I own this movie too.
You forgot about it, though, didn't you?
Topher and
Topher
Grace?
Dennis Quaid, Scarlett Johansson.
Yep. It's it's a trailer I used to watch. I've seen the movie, but it's a trailer I used to watch all the time because almost every trailer is amazing with Salisbury Hill on it.
Oh,
and this is one of them. You know, it's just one of those. It's like, oh man, that movie looks amazing because Salisbury Hill's playing.
Yeah, and it's not like this is a Wreck-A Warn. It's cheesy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everything about this production feels like a B-team production. It looks like the cameras were 10% cheaper than a normal movie's cameras. It looks like, do you know what I mean?
It's got like the Valentine's Day style look, right?
Almost like a TV movie.
Right.
There's no directorial camera flair here whatsoever.
Set it on a desk and just leave.
And the story is like, this story was outdated before the movie came out because it's about selling ad space in a print magazine. And the movie's trying to address that's a struggling thing. We're losing advertisers to digital and other areas, but already, I mean, you're a magazine, dude. You should have been online years ago.
Yeah.
So Dennis Quaid is this executive. Topher Grace, big conglomerate, buys the magazine, rolls it into their portfolio, and Topher Grace is the young managerial type that they send over to run the magazine. This is what Dennis Quaid's job should have been. He's put in the time. He's too old to go get hired somewhere else. They start firing people left and right. David Paymer loses his job. David Paymer's always fun. But yes, put upon David Paymer. You've got Agent Coulson is
Clark Gregg,
Topher's boss, who shows up every now and then, and his boss is Teddy K. That's Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
He shows up at the end.
Yeah.
But they talk about Teddy K like he's the Jesus of all business. There's nothing in this movie that's going to surprise you. But here's why I'm going to recommend this movie. Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2004, 2003?
There's a scene here where they go on a date. It's kind of accidental the way they end up together. And they end up back at her dorm room. And he's just standing there looking at the door. You can kind of tell on his face, he's like, I had a dorm room 5 years ago. And she like puts on a piece of music and drapes a scarf over the lamp. And the music plays. And she starts taking off her sweater or whatever. If you don't fall in love with her watching this movie,
yeah, this was that era that I prefer on Scarlett Johansson. I know it's
sorry, he doesn't. I don't think he means it that way.
I know.
Like there's a point where she was like girl next door type for a long time.
Yes.
And then she became glamour girl after that. Now, don't have any problem with the glamour girl. I just prefer the sweet Scarlett Johansson that I saw in that early 2000s.
Like Ghost World type of
Scarlett. Ghost World and all that.
Or even all the way up to the one we used to have a poster of, Lost in Translation.
Yeah, Lost in Translation.
And this falls in between those in that era where there's like she's not a megastar, and I almost feel like the actress herself doesn't yet realize how fucking gorgeous she is. Mm-hmm. So she's able to play this role more innocently, like, because that character doesn't know how gorgeous she is either. Anyway, I was flipping channels the other in Good Company. Is that the one with Topher? And I ended up watching the whole thing.
Yeah, nice.
Charming. I fell in love with her all over again. It's a Wreck-A Warn. It's got plenty of problems.
This did come out in 2004, so it came out a year after Translation did.
Okay, so right in
or did it come out the same year? No, it was the year after, 2003.
2003 was Lost in Translation.
Yeah, 2004 was in Good Company.
Anyway.
There was a funny thing, though, when we watched Escape Room, and there was a trailer for The Intruder just before that.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes trailers just, the way they've presented their argument for you to watch this movie, it's it comes off the funniest shit ever. So first off, it's like Unlawful Entry almost, this movie.
Very much.
Like Dennis Quaid's playing the Ray Liotta. Dennis Quaid in the Intruder trailer is this guy who's selling his house, I guess against his will or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Selling it to this couple that's moving in, Megan Good and Michael Ealy. And then so like the next day, after they've moved in the house and everything like that, Megan Good sees Dennis Quaid out on a tractor out in the backyard cutting the grass.
Yeah.
And so like the whole thing is like he just doesn't want to leave his house and he starts getting violent over it and all that. That's the way these movies go. But there's a scene in there because it, you know, it builds like he's just kind of an old man. He doesn't want to leave his house. Oh, that poor guy, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts getting progressively worse as the trailer goes on. Then there's a scene where it's out in the yard. Megan Good's looking around, and there's like this light that's flashing, like, you know, going around like this, like it's exposing just part of the yard as it goes around.
Okay.
And it comes around, and Dennis Quaid is like just standing at a tree, just looking at it, just like
It's like a jump scare.
He's like, boom.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this trailer. Oh, Jesus.
I just started laughing. I just started laughing when I saw that because it's just like bong.
Oh shit. Oh god, sounds like a terrible movie too.
Yeah.
I've got a warn.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a wreck-a-warn.
Okay.
You mentioned this movie a couple weeks ago, Bird Box.
Yeah.
It's funny. I saw on Twitter somebody came up with a joke like Bird Box and Bandersnatch are nicknames for my vagina.
Yep.
Works.
But yeah, so Bird Box was this phenomenon that they didn't even like release marketing for this like beforehand, did they?
No,
I had no idea what this was.
I knew about it because Sandra Bullock was on Colbert or something like that. And mentioned it, or it was her or Sarah. It's definitely Sandra Bullock on Stephen Colbert. And I think I'd seen a trailer somewhere, but I didn't know it was a Netflix thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the Sandra Bullock thing and I was like, okay, this must be some movie that's coming out and it'll be limited release or something like that. And then I go to Netflix and there it is.
It's A-listers. I mean, Sandra Bullock is, and really Sarah Paulson at this point is risen up. It's got John Malkovich in it. Like, it's got a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah.
But like you were saying for In Good Company, this feels like a B movie all the way through. The dialogue is clunky as shit, especially like setting this up. So Sandra Bullock is pregnant and her and Sarah Paulson are sisters and they have like the most clunky expositional dialogue I've ever seen. When they're at the gynecologist's office, by the way, the gynecologist is a whole different problem for this movie.
Yeah.
They're at the gynecologist's office and they start like bantering back and forth, and like all of a sudden it's like, well, our mother never raised us correctly, did she? Well, Dad was out on the flower farm or whatever the fuck it was. But he was a cowboy setting up. You guys know what the horses are, and Mom was dead and shit like that.
Right.
And I'm like, what? How did this? Like, just talk about your baby, dude.
Yeah.
It's like in Game of Thrones whenever they walk up to somebody and they're like, brother. And then they start talking. Like, he knows you're his brother.
Exactly. So the dialogue in this fucking movie is just ridiculous. And like the conceit of it is stupid.
Yeah.
You're not, I don't think this is really a spoiler. Everybody, this is the pretense of the movie is if you look, at these entities, then you will become suicidal. It's The Happening.
Yeah.
It is literally
The Happening.
made up of like 6 different movies that I was just listing off. I was like, oh, that's The Happening. Oh, that's A Quiet Place. Oh, that's that. Oh, that's that.
Oh, that's that
Logan.
Radiohead video.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a million times like that's literally lifted from that. The montage of the people dying at the beginning is totally The fucking Happening.
Yeah.
And so they get kind of sequestered into a house all together, and all the characters start coming out and stuff like that. It's not bad. That part of it. John Malkovich is in there chewing up some scenery, but like he's way over the top. I think he's miscast.
Yeah.
It's just there, like it just is stupid. Having said that, I will probably rewatch this movie.
Wow.
Because it's just kinetic enough to like keep your interest. Sandra Bullock is fantastic in it.
Yeah.
It's the wreck-a-warniest wreck-a-warn I've had.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are a lot of things about this movie. Like, yeah, I never really understood. They never explain, and I guess it's because maybe they're hoping to franchise this at some point, but never really explain like why Sandra Bullock doesn't get affected when she's looking in the same place Sarah Paulson is at the beginning of the movie.
She's going after the cell phone. So she isn't looking out.
She's not looking out, but
that's the whole thing that starts. She actually comes
I still
back to
think
that
she
later
would
on.
have seen something though. Like
right before then, she was looking.
There's no way that she knew not to look during the entire time that she got to the house. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and even the woman that comes out to rescue her.
Right.
Like,
there's no way that they know this yet. And then there's no real explanation of the ones who sort of formed the cult. That somehow can see but don't get changed.
Oh, that's the worst thing, by the way. If you're in a mental institution, this is what the movie is telling you.
You can look at them and
can look at them, and you're not going to want to kill yourself.
If you're inside the building or if you're a patient.
If you're psychotic, yes. If you no, I mean,
is that what the movie said?
Yes.
I don't even remember that.
If you're psychotic, if you have a mental illness, then it's explicated in like 2 scenes.
Okay.
Then you're able to survive in this environment without a blindfold on.
I remember
I'll be all right then.
It was offensive.
I remember Tom Hollander coming in and talking about those people, but I didn't remember him saying specifically that they had to be psychotic.
Yeah,
that is offensive. What's the reason for that?
I don't know. And it's never explained. Like Chris said, it's never explained. There's a lot of shit that's not explained for a movie that feels like it's like 2.5 hours.
It would make more sense if you said like colorblind people could look at them and not.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
Yes. Yeah. This is a dumb fucking movie, but I didn't have a bad time watching it.
But yeah, it's a huge cast here. I mean, Jackie Weaver shows up. I mean, almost wasted because she's in it for like 2 scenes. Rosa Salazar, who everybody's going to know from Alita Battle Angel once that comes out, but was in the Maze Runner movies. She's in it.
Is that her? Yeah.
Yeah, she's the cute girl that's in there. And Machine Gun Kelly's in this.
Machine Gun fucking Kelly is in this. God damn it. That's not that much of a spoiler either. Machine Gun Kelly and some cop woman hook up, then leave, and they're gone. Yeah. They're gone the rest of the fucking movie. That's it. These were like primary characters set up.
And they had to have died. There's no way. There's no way they did anything right afterwards.
No, it's so fucking stupid. Who was the guy? Who was her compadre? Oh, Lil Rel Howery is in this, by the way. That's not him. But it's Trevante Rhodes. Yeah. And B.D. Wong is in this for a hot minute. Tom Hollander, like you said, actually is pretty good. In this.
I love Tom Hollander.
So it's just a weird, stupid, dumb movie.
All right. Well, I had already read enough takes online, and I had already decided I didn't think I wanted to watch this movie, and I don't think you've made me want to watch it anymore.
Trevante Rhodes, by the way, was in Moonlight and was also in The Predator that came out earlier in the year. But it's good to see the guys from Moonlight I'm finally seeing them in other things. So I've seen Trevante Rhodes in that, and then another guy from Moonlight was in The Equalizer 2.
Oh, okay.
The drug guy that he saves?
Yeah, the Miles guy.
Oh, yeah. The after school special kid?
Yeah, the after school special kid.
Who paints a surreptitious mural?
Yes.
That movie is so fucking stupid.
All right, that's Recommends and Warns. Do we have time for anything else?
Yeah, let's do a question or so.
Question. I got something to say. I want the truth. I am listening.
Okay, we'll do this. Now, the question is posed to us as specifics, but I think we're kind of going out a little bit because of the concept of the question. Which movie had the biggest change in quality, Thor 2 to Ragnarok or Avengers 2 to Infinity War? I think I have the most specific answer to this question, so I'll go first on this.
Okay.
I think, to me, it's Thor: The Dark World to Ragnarok, hands down, no question. Because I think Infinity War, as I've said before, is losing a lot of luster to me the more I watch it, and I've watched a lot. Mm-hmm. And I've also watched Ragnarok a lot, and just the differences in tone, the differences in quality, what you could see what Taika Waititi put into this, where it seemed like whoever did The Dark World, it was like a one-off guy. looked like it was just kind of being made in a sleep, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that it's hands down that. Now, Age of Ultron is shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so shitty, and it gets shittier every time I watch it. Whereas the original Avengers, gets better every time I watch it. It's so weird to me that those latter two are just kind of muddled logically.
Yeah, I think Thor's the right choice if we're making the choice between those two suggestions. I went off book.
I did too.
Just applied the concept to other franchises and went looking for drastic changes in quality and ended up going the opposite route of super quality to not quality with X2 to X-Men The Last Stand.
Yep.
Now, granted, a lot of this is Brett Ratner. A lot of this is that we went from a more capable director. Everyone we talk about today is murky.
From one scumbag to another scumbag.
I don't know if you saw this, but when Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Drama at the Golden Globes, Bryan Singer posted a social media congrats to the team or what have you, and Brett Ratner came right up underneath him and said, "Congrats, bro, you deserve it." And I saw somebody on Twitter screenshot that and go, "You can't make this shit up."
Yeah. No kidding.
But X2 is arguably the best of those that first trilogy. Before we went to First Class, and arguably, yes. I think the first X-Men is great, but I think X2 took it to another level in both character, action, scope, and then we just fell to earth. Like the moon in Avengers Infinity War, when Ratner took control and we started injecting all these mutants with demutinizing sauce.
Yeah.
All right, so is The Last Stand really like unwatchable, do you think? Or is it like
close? I
see what you mean in the disparity of the quality. I didn't hate Last Stand as much as everybody else did. But it's definitely not nearly up to the level as X2.
I think the last time I watched it was when we sinned it, and I don't think I could watch it all the way through. And I watch lots of crap all the way through. It's not better than you.
Yeah, I don't remember hating The Last Stand as much as everybody else did either, but it is shitty.
I've eaten a lot of crap in my life, and I want my free sub.
I would agree that Thor Ragnarok is out of that very specific question. The higher, jump in quality between the two movies. I started trying to think of, because it doesn't happen often. You almost have to have a series like the Marvel movies to have some kind of strange quality difference, higher quality difference. I mean, some people might do this with the Furious movies. I ended up landing on, though, Mission Impossible 3 to Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. 3 is not bad, but it's also like...
It's overrated simply because it was better than the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different quality jump, too. 2 to 3.
True.
Yes, so,
but 2 was shit. 3 was capable.
Right.
That's the best thing you can say about that movie, but it's developed the reputation as the one that started the improvement of the series, when really Brad Bird should get all that credit.
Yes, I agree. The
Ghost
difference
Protocol.
between
Gross Point Protocol.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol and 3 are stark, even though I love 3.
Yeah. It's no comparison between Dark World and Ragnarok and Avengers 2 and Avengers Infinity War, but it's certainly a dramatic leap in quality between the two movies. They're almost not even the same franchise.
Yeah.
No, I would agree.
Yeah.
You could almost make an argument that Thor 2, the Dark World to Ragnarok was almost like too much of a change.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, watching Infinity War again, Thor kind of goes back to being a less comedic and more of a fish out of water character again.
Well, and
he's not overtly comedic.
I think if you sit down and watch any of the standalone trilogies, as they were, I think the Thor is all over the place. If you were to watch Thor the Dark World, and then Thor Ragnarok, they're not going to feel like they're from the same franchise at all.
No, they're not. He's accidentally funny in the first one because he's a fish out of water. He's brooding and serious and battle-y and stuff like that in the second one. And then he's fucking joking around with the fire demon at the beginning of the third one.
He's quippy.
Yeah, he's quippy like he's trying to be intentionally funny.
Aaron on Sif Pop, when they were reviewing this movie, had a comic book guy to help review the movie with him, and he said that one of the most off-putting things about the Thor character is how hilarious he is now, or whatever, quote unquote, I guess. That it's so different from the character now in the comic book that it's indistinguishable.
Wow.
Well, and like I said, at Infinity War, he's calling Rocket Rabbit, but again, unintentionally funny. He's not making quips. He's not really like joking around.
It's also
like he is in Ragnarok. And I love the Thor in Ragnarok. Don't get me wrong. Like, I thought that was a great turn for that character.
I feel like the MCU gets a little lazy when it comes to quip writing.
Mm-hmm.
Quippy writing.
Yes.
I wrote a sin that we didn't leave in for Infinity War where Tony calls Ebony Maw Squidward.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because I have a problem with that. Because Tony would not get that reference. Tony would not make that reference. When is he fucking watching SpongeBob enough to know the side characters' names? And this guy looks nothing like that character. The writer was like, I'm going to make a pop culture reference here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they did. And it's the same thing with him calling Rocket Rabbit.
Yeah.
If he knows what a rabbit is, he knows what a raccoon is. Yep. God damn, he should be calling him the name of some Asgardian rodent.
Yeah.
Musket or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But no, you wanted to make a it just feels like that's where they get the laziest, is when it comes to, we need a quip here. Let's have a quip here.
I agree. Well, like in the middle of the beginning of Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, where it's like he says shit in like language in the middle of this fucking battle.
Yeah.
And no, it's not. Same thing with Doctor Strange and Tony when they're going off to the spaceship to Titan.
Well, and I know that they want to make it where it's lighthearted and they don't want to be, all like serious all the time and everything. It takes a lot of the tension out of the battle when everybody's just joking around and nothing's all that serious. And like, well, then why should I care whether you win or not?
Well, again, even in Civil War, you got that moment with Scarlett Johansson and whoever she's fighting where they're like, we're really doing this, huh? Or you're pulling your punches, or like they quip in the middle of the fight about the fact that it's not a real fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And yet I'm expected to care. No. Yep. Not me. Yep. Everybody else, maybe.
God, that fucking pisses me. I've been watching a lot of Marvel lately. It so pisses me off that Tony gets so fucking pissed off at Falcon for killing Rhodey, incapacitating him, when it was his fault in the first place. He's going after the Quinjet, and then fucking Vision is trying to take fucking Falcon out. Falcon doesn't even do anything to Rhodes besides like distract him, and then Vision fucking shoots him down. Falcon didn't have shit to do with that.
No.
And he fucking blows him away because, he's upset. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
God.
I'm with you.
Pisses me off.
I'm with you.
Next on Marvel Rants.
It's like the Jackson Pollock joke in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. That always stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Because he was an 8-year-old fucking kid. Mm-hmm. He would not know who Jackson Pollock is, much less his style of painting and how it would resemble semen splatters. Yeah. But James Gunn thought it was funny, and the audience thought it was funny. And we're apparently the only people in the world that look for consistency in these things. But it was not a great laugh moment for me, because I was like, what, Jackson Pollock?
I know.
I barely get that reference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's enough. Sorry, I got a little.
It's all right. You obviously fit into something else.
I have fired up. My son has fired up my wife as far as Marvel goes. Like when I was off watching Escape Room, actually, they were watching Age of Ultron. And then the next night I was doing something else and I came in, they were watching Civil War. And then he wanted to watch Infinity War. And then I was like, oh, well, you got to be getting worn out with this. And she's like, no, now I'm like a converted Marvel MCU fan. I want to watch all of them. And she's never seen any of them. She's never seen Iron Man. She's never seen. So it's kind of cool. I'm going to reintroduce her to all this stuff. But then I have to, go through the Avengers movies that I've been talking about and see that maddening inconsistency. I want to watch Iron Man again, and I want to watch like Thor Ragnarok again, because those are really good.
All right, well, that'll do it for this week. Keep going to SinCast, presented by CinemaSins on Facebook. I have just recently started the Discord.
Discord.
Getting on Discord. I think Jonathan's on there now. But I'll be checking Discord from time to time.
I will too. I've got an account on there.
Yeah, looking at any questions and comments that come out. I feel bad about not being there earlier. It's just that the way things are going, and so many whirlwind things are going on right now that I didn't even think about Discord for the longest time. And now I'm gonna be on there. Probably be a little bit more on the Patreon comments too. So there's that. Now, is the way Aaron has set this up, is it Discord /CinemaSins, or is it?
It's CinemaSins on Discord.
CinemaSins on Discord.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's that. There's also our CinemaSins Twitter. There's SoundCloud. There's Reddit. There's a lot of places to come and talk about this very episode. But that'll do it for this week. It's Chris Atkins and Jeremy Scott and Barrett Scher. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Comment on our episodes on our SoundCloud page. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. And be sure to visit CinemaSins.com.
No, you think they, because it was like, it's been a recognized, I'm going to look this up. Hang on. It's been a recognized entity for a long time, though.
I'm saying, I'm not talking about facts you can look up on the internet. I'm talking about what was his point, whoever started it, what was their intent. The intent was to thumb the nose at regular church.
Well, sure, but I bet it was also like a Rosemary's Baby type of thing where they were actually worshiping Satan.
Well,
like when it first started, I bet it was.
That would be different. That would be Satanism.
Yes.
The organization, the Church of Satan, I believe is much more modern than you believe it to be.
Now it is.
No, I mean, I think it started much more recently. The Church of Satan, whatever the official organization is.
Right.
I don't think they actually ever worship Satan.
I think, yeah, you're probably right. I see what you're doing. So this was dedicated to Satanism in the Satanic Bible, which was Anton LaVey. That was the guy that Jimmy Page used to like reference all the time and Led Zeppelin stuff. Yeah. He was a big satanic guy. That's why, and the song remains the same. Did you ever see that? The movie, he's shown like doing satanic rituals and stuff like that. And at one point, he turns to the camera and he's got like glowing red eyes. And if you're super high, which you should be while watching The Song Remains the Same, it freaks you the fuck out. I think thetans are like the midichlorians, right?
I don't know, but at least Scientology, the point is to take money from stupid people. The Satanists are just doing all this. It's like LARPing religion.
That's true. It's like John Goodman and Big Lebowski. He's like, say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism, dude. At least it's an ethos.
Yeah.
And that's like in the middle of him saying something completely different.
Also, dude, Chinaman is not the preferred nomenclature.
Asian American, dude. Did you hear Carly Rae Jepsen has a song about masturbation?
Is it new?
Fairly new.
I saw a headline the other day that said something about why
Party of One, I think is what it's called.
Why so many LGBTQ people love her. Like, I guess she's some kind of like...
Did they answer it?
I didn't read the article.
Oh.
But apparently most of her fan base, or a large portion of her fan base is...
Is she gay?
I don't know. I mean, Madonna always had a huge gay following too, and she wasn't gay.
That's true. I feel like she was kind of gay, though.
She was a little gay. She was like...
She was Britney Spears gay.
It's Hollywood. Everybody's gay sometimes. He named names.
Yes.
Get
Do
him
the
by
Elia
February
Kazan
1st.
version of the podcast.
Got me blacklisted from Hop Sinks. She named names.
Fill me up.
I'll just go, yeah. Do it, Mr. M.
Fill me up.
Fill me up.